Madelyn's skin continued to tingle as she lifted the leather tome to get a closer look. The cover was made of thick leather, bare of any titles or identifying marks, except the initials J.B. in the bottom right corner. Madelyn smoothed her fingertips over the initials and opened the front cover. The title was written on the front page in pen and ink, not in typeface. My Year with Dragons, a personal collection of observations about my time spent with the Barinov family, by James Barrow. Dated 1821. Madelyn whispered the words. It was written in English, and James Barrow could be English or American. She held the text in one hand and made a note in her notebook before she turned to the next page. Her heart stuttered to a stop in her chest. 3 pencil sketches depicted the face of 3 different men. Names were scrawled beneath each intimate portrait. Mikhail, Rurik, and Grigori, the Barinov brothers. The first man, Mikhail, seemed more brooding, his hair dark and his eyes almost black. He seemed worried, but he was attractive, and even the shadows that haunted his eyes were enchanting. In the second drawing, the man named Rurik had dark hair and mischievous eyes, with a playful, charming grin on his lips that outshone the white scar drawn from above his right eyebrow down to his cheek, as though he'd been slashed. He looked like a bit of a troublemaker, but the thought made her smile. Her eyes lingered longest over the sketch of the man named Grigori. Something about him stilled her, like the moment she stood outside on the first snowfall of winter. There was a strange whispering at the back of her mind, a collection of hushed voices that she couldn't seem to hear clearly enough to understand. She was fascinated by the man's handsome face, the pale hair and light eyes. There was a melancholy beauty to his lips, and an almost rueful smile barely hinted in the drawing, as though he had sat still long enough to assist the artist, but as soon as he was able, he'd move again. While all 3 men were intriguing, it was Grigori that Madelyn's eyes came back to over and over. Something about his face, like a half-remembered dream. Deep inside her there was a stirring, as though a part of her she never knew existed had awoken. The voices didn't stop that whispering, and Madelyn couldn't help but wonder if she was going mad. Between the dreams at night and now this. She drew a deep breath in and let it out, slow and measured, calming herself.